Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are going to tackle one of the biggest challenges for pretty much any business out there, really truly understanding your customer. It's all about knowing exactly who you're talking to and, maybe more importantly, how you can actually connect with them. So let's just kick things off with this idea because it's so powerful. Trying to sell to everyone means not selling to anyone. I mean, think about it. When your message is for everybody, it gets so watered down that it doesn't really land with anybody. It's like shouting in a huge crowded room versus having a real one-on-one conversation. All right, so the big question is, how do you find your customer? The secret isn't about casting a wider net. It's actually all about precision. It's about trading that giant, clumsy net for a perfectly aimed arrow. And, well, to aim that arrow, you've got to have a crystal clear target. And that target, it has a name, the customer persona. Basically, it's a super detailed profile of your perfect customer, but you bring them to life as a kind of fictional character. Now, this isn't just some boring list of data, okay? It's a strategic tool that gives your marketing an incredible, game-changing focus. Okay, let's dive into how you actually build one of these. To make a persona that really works, you have to understand its two crucial sides. You've got demographics on one hand and psychographics on the other. These are the key ingredients that make the whole thing so powerful. So on one side, you have demographics. That's the who. This is all the factual surface level stuff, age, income, where they live. It's important for sure, but it is only half the picture. The other side, that's psychographics, the why. And this is where it gets really interesting. This stuff reveals what truly drives their decisions. We're talking about their fears, their dreams, their hobbies, what their daily routine actually looks like. And you don't find this why in a spreadsheet. You find it by actually talking to people, doing interviews, sending out surveys, or just listening to the conversations they're having online. Look, theory is great and all, but let's see how this actually works in the real world. What's super interesting is taking a peek at how a massive, successful brand like Nike puts this exact concept into practice with their own runner persona. So you'd think a company like Nike could just market to a huge, vague audience, but they are way too smart for that. They don't waste their money and energy trying to talk to everyone who wants shoes. I mean, that's an enormous, totally unfocused group that's basically everyone. No, instead of doing that, they get incredibly specific. And here it is. This is their target. This is their persona. Nike zeroes in on the disciplined urban professional, someone who wants to push themselves. And check out this detail, someone who runs at 5 a.m. See, we're way beyond simple demographics now. This is a person with specific habits, really clear goals, and a very, very distinct mindset. And that just brilliantly illustrates the power of what we're talking about. When you have this kind of clarity, everything you do, your marketing, your product design, all of it, hits the target like that perfectly aimed arrow. It feels personal, it feels relevant, and man, is it effective. So the whole point here isn't just to sit back and admire what Nike is doing. It's about grabbing the key takeaway and figuring out what this means for you and for your business. It's about a really fundamental shift in how you see your own audience. And honestly, it all boils down to this single idea. Know why the customer runs, not their shoe size. The shoe size, that's the demographic, that's the who. But the why, that deep desire to push themselves, that discipline to get up at 5 a.m., that's the psychographic. That's the motivation. And that's where the real connection actually happens. So we're going to leave you with this final thought. Take a minute to think about your own work, your own brand, and ask yourself this question. Who is my ideal customer? And even more importantly, can I get past all the surface level stuff and start to truly understand their why? Because that, right there, that's where all the magic begins.